And welcome back everyone, welcome back to another Cranky Duckling broadcast, a very special broadcast. Welcome to the Funky 6K Open number 1. And what the hell is that? Oh. Don't worry about it, Papi, don't worry about it. Welcome everyone, welcome to a very special broadcast where we're going to be featuring some very new maps on a very special tournament. The Funky 6K Open is a tournament that Dave Testa hosted. I believe it was in conjunction with Chicken Man. Dave Testa and Chicken Man, they did host a tournament a couple of days ago. It was Friday morning for me, and I remember it was like the day before. The day before, Dave was like, "Yo, you wanna cast, Papi? You wanna show up and cast and help cover this tournament?" I was like, "Oh." And I looked at initially I said yes. Initially I was like, yo, let's go. And then the night before, obviously we were casting, obviously we're always casting. And I finished casting at 2 a.m. And I was like getting ready for bed at 2 a.m. And the tournament was at 7 a.m. the same day. It was in 5 hours. I'm like, am I really gonna sleep for like 4 hours and get up and get no, Papi, no. So I told Dave that I'm sorry, I can't cast it live. You know, I'm not going to be able to get up in time. I probably need to sleep, especially after like an intense week of casting. He's like, oh, good. You know, replay cast. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go for the replay cast instead. So here we are. Again, the tournament did take place a couple of days ago, but the most important thing about this event is that it's featuring a new map pool. New maps by all of the lovely map creators out there. So yeah, as much as, you know, the game's going to be important, and they will be, more often than not, I'm going to be mainly, or I feel like our attention is going to be on the maps, on the features of the maps themselves, what we like, what we don't like, what we think is a good map, what we think is a bad map. Like, I feel like that's where the main focus of the broadcast is going to be. Hopefully it doesn't overshadow the players too much, and obviously I'm still going to try and focus on what's happening. But yeah, it's just a great way to show off the new maps that have been made. It's a really interesting format. I believe every single round has pre-selected maps for each game. So no vetoes, no like loser's pick or anything like that. It's just predetermined maps for each round the players have to play on. The one thing that I hope is that I hope there's not too much cheese. I hope that the players didn't, because there's money on the line, obviously. There's like a $300 prize pool or something. It's pretty big. Sorry, $125 prize pool, which is pretty damn good for like an open tournament like this. But hopefully we don't get too much cheese is always good, but like you know, we want to experience the map, you know. So hopefully the games don't end too quickly here as we get into this. And I guess the other big thing is that it's called the Funky 6K Open because they have a 6K limit. They have a like any player above 6K isn't allowed to compete. I don't know how strict they were with this, because I know Demi was playing, and I'm pretty sure Demi is more than 6K, but he could be off racing, I don't know. And I don't know what region they're talking about either, because I know that like 6K on NA isn't as impressive as like 6K on EU, for example. I know a lot of these games were played on the European server, so I'm not too certain like how all of that works and what the limitations were for the tournaments. But I'm sure the admins were able to handle it, and they were able to, you know, make sure that the event was as fair as possible. There are some pro players here, obviously, some pretty big names that we are pretty familiar with. You know, we've got Demi, we've got Exo Striker, we've got I think Arrowfire, Geomek as well, Leo Rusher, and another big one is Hon Mono himself, the honorable of monorables, the most recent GPO champion. He won Grand Platypus Open last night against Mio Micah in the grand finals. So old mate Hung Mono is gonna be there as well. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. a lot of great players. On Mono was 6.1. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like that's like, I'm pretty sure like a lot of these players, like Extra Striker as well, and maybe even Geomek, like I'm pretty sure like they're pretty high up there. So I don't really know if how like strict they were, or maybe like on the day like Dave and Chicken Man were like, screw it, just play. They're like, you know, why not just Open it up to everyone. I don't know. I don't know how they organized it, but regardless, we got a lot of good games. A lot of good games, Poppy. Extra Strike has been, yeah. So again, I'm not too sure like how strict they were with that, but regardless, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of fun. Are you wearing a shirt? Oh, a little bit. I have to, Poppy. I have to. Welcome, hello, Wormsick, hello, Base Habit, Frost, Eva as well. Welcome. Bienvenidos to the tournament. Thank you for showing up. And yeah, so we've got a lot of replays to go through. I guess the other thing, you know, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, if you see anything, like if you notice any kind of feature of a map, point it out. You know, point it out. Like I'm gonna be solo casting initially. I'll have a co-caster later on, but it would be fun to like, you know, try and dissect the maps a little bit whenever we can. Obviously, we're not gonna like delve too much into it. Still got games to cast, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of fun. Ooh. And we're gonna be kicking things off with something a little bit special. Here we go. The first round. Oh god, where are we? The first round matchup. We can see here John Bomb versus Slip. Will actually be our second match. We're going to be started off with something a little bit special instead. Senjiu versus SewerBadger. These two players are a little bit lower ranked, but they played on some maps that I don't think any others played on. So it's going to be fun, Papi, hopefully. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Oh, that's not good. I may have done something wrong. Okay. I may have accidentally reset a couple of things here. All right, we'll just, you know what? We'll start from the beginning. We'll start from the top. Start from the top. Let's go. So we're going to be jumping into a bit of a TvP. I believe both these players are much more amateur players, so we're going to be starting off here, and then we're going to ramp our way up as we do progress in the tournament. And the first map here is going to be called Eco Brutalism. Jesus. It's brutal, Papi. It's brutal. And here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Eco Brutalism, we have the Green Terran representing the Pigpan. It is Senjiu. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eco Brutalism, we have as opponent, we have someone who we have seen before in the KSL, the pink Protoss player from the land of the Americas. It is SewerBadger. If you remember, infamously, SewerBadger did Cannon Rush Dark a couple of days ago in the Korean StarCraft League. He did Cannon Rush and successfully killed the natural base of Dark. So that's pretty impressive stuff. Dark did kill him in the end. That did happen, but yeah, you know, he's maybe a little bit more of a cheesy player here, and oh boy, already I feel like a little bit awkward because I want to kind of like focus on the openings, but at the same time, you know, what's going on, Papi? What's going on? You love to say we do have our pillars here over the natural base. The entrance to the natural here seems quite large overall. No ramp, of course, no ramp. We are going to be going for a worker scout across the map. But I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know if there were too many requirements here for the maps that were submitted, like if they had to use certain features, you know, if they had to be rush maps or not. Just it was quite intense, Puppy. There's just so many of them. I don't know how many unique maps are a part of this tournament, but there are a lot. Oh, nice. Aye. And yeah, already, like, it's pretty interesting how there are so many, at least, side blockers here in the middle of the map. When it comes to the center as well, it does feel pretty goddamn wide open compared to some of the other maps that we're used to in current era. I'm also, when it comes to the TLMC, I know that they're definitely looking for certain requirements overall. I do think that they're going to be leaning more towards Zerg-friendly maps just because of how things have been going. Yeah, I know that there are certain stipulations for TLMC and like the submission phase overall. I remember in the past, like there were challenges where they had to like require like auto turrets or neutral turrets as well. Oh, I just realized neutral turrets as well. Oh, give me music, Bobby. Give me music. Oh, let's go. So yeah, so far at least for the start of this game, no one's doing anything too crazy. We have a 2-gate opener coming out from SewerBadger. No prioritization of tech, which is a little bit odd. Typically we do see like there are Twilight Counts or a Stargate being thrown out at this point. Meanwhile, Senjiu, likewise, interesting. Did end up going for a Reaper into the reactor, into a high ground CC, so very safe play here. I wonder if they're familiar with each other. I do know that they're around the same skill level, so I'm curious as to what it was that, you know, kind of signaled Senjiu to be playing this safe, bearing in mind that, again, SewerBadger, I feel like, is more of a cheesy player. We're playing safe, Poppy. Let's go. We're gonna have so much time to just go over the map. Okay. So as things settle down, and there's not too much happens. Oh my god, is this tall grass? It is. I appreciate that some of the new assets as well. I think one of the biggest, like, visually, one of the biggest criticisms I had of the new map pool is that it feels really bland. Like Royal Blood, Gressvan, Dragon Scales, like, I don't know, like, it's... A lot of those maps feel really dull to me, and, I'm not too... I don't know, I feel like we've had more diverse color palettes in the past as well, with previous map pools, even the one before that, like Waterfall and stuff like that. Like, I really did appreciate how visually striking some of those other maps were compared to what we have right now. We have it a little bit with like Altitude and Near Humanity, but like those are some of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, so it's like, oh well. What's the point, Buffy? Smooch. Smooch. As I guess a couple of other interesting things here, there's only a singular entry into the main base. This is crazy, actually. What? When it comes to... Wait, hold on. Yeah, I believe there's like one hex for the Reaper to go up into the main. Have we seen that before? That's crazy. Like, obviously, there's been like one building wall-offs, like with like one gateway or like one cyber core, but this is like a pylon. Okay. I don't know if we've ever seen something that narrow. That's crazy. We have? Oh, okay. Never mind. As the only way in? I don't think we can go up here. Yeah, we can't. Fair enough. Low base count, but kind of big too. Yeah, it feels really wide open in the center, at least. Towards the center. Oh my god, this third though. This triangular third is insanely open. What does this remind me of? Does it remind me of Nightshade? There have been some maps like this as well, where like, Jesus, you're on the low ground in like 3 different areas here. Like, this triangular third looks disgusting. I don't want to expand here. Oh my god. So kind of a brutal third. Here the linear third is a lot more defensible, obviously. We have our choke point coming into it. We've got more ramps to take advantage of as well. Ay. Behind this, we are getting into our kind of 3-rack setup here. I love that we're going into Banshees as well. Something you don't see too often in TvP. What did we scout, by the way? We with the hallucination, we were able to confirm the tech, confirm that Cloak was on the way here against SewerBadger. So he at least is aware, and hopefully he's going to be able to prepare back at home. He's working on his robo, hopefully a detection soon after. Both third bases just look hard to defend. Yeah, I guess I would say that the linear third is the lesser of 2 evils, but this one actually looks insane. Whether it's like even the area behind the gas guys are here, the ramps themselves as well. Oh my god. As SewerBadger is doing SewerBadger things, we're going for a ninja base. Let's go. Oh my god. And I love the idea of doing something like this, especially on a newer map, because what are the chances that your opponent is actually going to scout in that area? Meanwhile, remember how I said that that we saw the tech lab researching, so we would totally get detection? Well, we don't have detection. we got the rover for a bay instead, so this one Banshee is going to kind of win Senjiu the game. Like, again, we saw it. We literally saw it researching. We knew, Poppy. We knew. SewerBadger. Ah. So, unfortunately, he wasn't able to piece together what was going on, and because of that, I think these Banshees may... I mean, we do now have an observer, thankfully. So we'll be able to clean this up. And of course, you know, hey, we may be losing all these probes. We may be losing a game-ending amount of... Oh my god, a game-ending amount of probes. But we got a ninja base, so does it really matter? The answer is it does. but we still got a ninja, so it's gonna be okay, Papi. It's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. It also looks as if we have some dead space behind the main base as well. At least some. I don't really know how far out we can go here, if at all. Actually, I know sometimes the map can be a little bit deceiving. And yeah, we found ourselves in this game. Behind this is Senjiu is kind of working up towards a push though. We have 4 tanks, we got a decent amount of marines, we're working on marauder production. Like after getting so much economic damage done, like I feel like Senjiu's in a pretty comfortable position at this point. And yo, he's even scouting with his Reaper from the start of the game as well. Let's go. Finds the ninja base. You love to see it. Oh, hello, Night Phoenix, hello. Why would you lie to us like that? True, Base Abbott, true. Reaper's gonna get taken down. We actually recalled to save this. Okay. Shout out to SewerBadger. Let's go. Hey, you know what? He saves his base, okay? Does save his base in the end. To have that massive push that we were talking about, and I don't think that SewerBadger can honestly do anything about this. The scary thing is that he just recalled, so his army is pretty out of position, and even if he did have everything together, it would be a bit of an uphill battle here for the Protoss. And here we go, he will give up on the base. Ninja will go down. SewerBadger's gonna get the hell out of there. Gonna be taking the triangular third as well, which I honestly, every time I look at this, I want to look away. Like I just can't believe how much space there is down here. It's actually insane. Senju's about to experience that himself once he does go down this ramp, and it's going to be so open. There's kind of pros and cons to that, obviously. Like that will kind of favor, I don't know, even things like mass zealots, you know, if we ever do get engaged out here. But even then, unfortunately, SewerBadger is lacking a lot of map vision right now. So we do see Senju is going to rock up. He's going to be able to deny this third base. Shield batteries are here, but they're not really going to come into play. And we are lacking some splash damage as well. But yo, SewerBadger is going to actually try to fight this, and the tanks are unsieged. At least 3 of them are. Yo, with the unsieged tanks, we're going to be able to take this fight. As it still does end in the end, mate. You don't need a siege tanks. It's all good. GG gets called, and Senju takes the first game. But yeah, pretty interesting map name. Not gonna lie. God, eco brutalism. Jesus. I'm loving this. Okay, game 2. Is gonna be on a map called Grassy Ruins. Unfortunately, I can't see who the map makers are in the details, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, with that, Senju takes the first game pretty handily, not gonna lie. Now we get into our second game. Bit of a smaller map. Grassy Ruins. Smaller map, less spaces, but here we have him currently leading the series 1-0. We have the Green Terran, Senjiu. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Grassy Ruins, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss player. He is pink. He is SewerBadger. Okay, thankfully we have multiple Reaper clips this time. I say that once again, only one, because I'm pretty sure Reapers can't go up this, right? Because of the railing. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. We'll see. Curious. As we do have SCVs moving out towards the bottom right hand corner of the map. Yo, we did have a ninja base earlier. What is Senju thinking right now? But yeah, I'm loving the ambient noise as well. Once again, this third base it doesn't feel as open in as the last one. I wonder if we had a similar map maker as well. Yo, we're stealing some gas. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Steal that gas. But yeah, once again, we have a pretty wide open triangular third here. A massive ramp going down it as well. I haven't seen ramps this large in a while, especially when it comes to being entryways into a base. Oh my god, we're cannon rushing. Wait, no, we're not. We are. Okay. You know, I haven't casted a Protoss player cannon rush a Terran in a long time, in a very long time, in months. So we're kind of doing it, but we only brought 1 probe. We didn't bring 2, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to pull off. We're taking more gases. What's happening? What are we watching right now? Let's go. We can throw down cannons on the low ground, but we're about to lose the probe, and the Marine's already out. Like, nothing's gonna finish. Probe goes down. The cannon rush is not gonna. It's not. We need a transition, Papi. We need it. Okay, thankfully we canceled the cannons. Thankfully, Jesus. So the reason why we don't really see gas steals against Terran, we see it a little bit against Zerg, especially when we do cannon rush at least Zerg players. I feel like cannon rushing Terrans, I feel like gas stealing Terrans doesn't really do much at all, because I mean, we can go into 3 Raxes, we can still throw down our CC as well. Like, and as I say that, we are going into 3. Yo, Senjiu, he knows, Papi. We can just go into 3 Rax from here. And of course, eventually we're going to need a second gas, but it doesn't really matter. Also, we're going for a ninja base. Oh my god. I love these 2 players. They're so beautiful. We need to cherish them. Great minds think alike, Bobby. Great minds. Yeah. When it comes to the center of this map, it's actually pretty wild. So especially when we look at all these rocks as well, like imagine these rocks all going down, like the center of the map is just like one massive area, like unironically. Like, it's actually crazy how this will turn out in a bit of a longer game. I know, that's like the biggest thing that like popped out to me. Here towards the left. Again, nowhere near as many bases. I guess the rush distance is relatively short as well. It does seem that way. Yo, we're not stopping the cannon rush. We're doubling down, Papi. We're doubling down. We got a Cybercore on the way. We're going for the Stargate. We're going for the Robo. What are we going for? Show me, Papi. Show me. Proxy K being thrown down. We're getting our 3rd CC because why not? All right, let's go. You know, look, we've casted some Dave replays before. It's fitting that these 2 players would be in a Dave tournament. Like, I'm just saying. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. We're going into a Twilight. Are we going for DTs? This is a really weird follow-up to a cannon rush, by the way. I don't know if I like this. Yeah, typically we want to snowball, but if we're going into a Twilight Council, I'm gonna be shocked if we do end up going into something like Charge, or Blink. It's gotta be for DTs, right? But even then, like, DTs aren't that great against Terran because we got skids. Not like this. Meanwhile, Ninja Base getting up and running. Yo, SewerBadger, we're taking his base! I was about to, I was unironically about to suggest this. I was like, mate, at this point, why don't you just expand across the map? Okay. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. This map is tiny. Yeah. Heck, the eco punches the eco in the face. True. It's too brutal, Papi. It's too brutal. I think the map makers is doing it so you can't drop on the ledge anymore. That triangular third reminds me of the one on Berlingrad. I understand. I understand the logic. Kind of. Is dropping on the ledge that impactful though? And I'm not necessarily talking about like dropping on the like kind of middle ground of the ledge, but like having there only be like such a small like Reaper cliff as well. It's kind of weird. Yo, we're going for a 5-Rax. Why are we throwing down production here? Why? Okay. We're setting up for the surround, Papi. Let's go. He's so smart. He's hiding his additional production so his opponent doesn't know that he's on 2 base 5-Rax would be normal. There's the Dark Shrine we were talking about. Oh, we recalled! Let's go. This is the Dark Shrine we were talking about. Thrown down here at the ninja base. Did we just scout that? We did. We actually know. Senjiu did see it. But did he see it though? That's the question. All right, as I need to engross myself in the game now. I need to at this point. So Senjiu, thankfully he isn't really muling too heavily. I was a little bit concerned that maybe he wasn't reacting to what he had seen to this Dark Shrine, but you know, we're banking up some energy. We're gonna be able to scan at some point. We're getting away with the third base. Like Senjiu's economy is literally double of that of his opponents. I also don't think it was a good idea to recall everything either. Like, cause what did we really accomplish with the recall? We just moved like the economy from one base to another, but we're still not making probes anyway. Like yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Look, we're in the sewer, okay? It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's fine. No, we're working on Blink. Blink is on the way for the DTs. Let's go. Is there a world? Okay. So charge is done. Is there a world where we can blink? We can go full Nightmare. You know, for those of you who remember, Nightmare in GSL against, I think it was Gumiho. We blink in, we dive on top of the tanks, we kill the tanks before we scan, and then just the charge lets try to clean up. We don't have that many gateways. We have one gate. What? With all this, we only have one gateway? Oh my god. Here we go. DTs are rushing on forward, but we have a scan. GG. Well played, Poppy. Well played. Senjiu takes the series 2-0. Look, I appreciate some of the ideas here from SewerBadger. I appreciate it. I'll say that. ET. Oh. Lovely. My game just crashed. Don't you just love casting replays when StarCraft just doesn't want to work for you? Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We'll come back in. But I believe they played a game 3. So we may be able to slip into that as well. Double check. Okay, beautiful. What is this? +1 charge? Look, don't try to think too hard about it. Okay, it's fine. Oh my god, as it's been a while since we've had a map that looks like this. I'm thinking of, oh my god, I'm thinking of like Redshift, but even Redshift was like snow on like it was like that Hoth planet from the new trilogy. It was like red and white. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Brimstone, Papi. We have the now yellow Terran player representing Pigpan. It is Senjiu. And spawning. The ground is weird. Oh my god. It's messing with my eyes a little bit, not gonna lie. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Brimstone, we have as opponent, we have the now purple Protoss player. It is SewerBadger. They don't get distracted by the patches on the floor. True. I do think that this graphical like texture is a little bit much. Like, look at the main base. It's like, it doesn't look. It's like bothering my eyes. it's hard to explain. Oh my god! But it has been so long. Jesus, when was the last time we had this? This is like a 2v2 map. Where the center bases can, like, you can siege. You can shoot from base to base over the terrain. That's crazy. What am I thinking of? There was like a map in Heart of the Swarm that like snaked around. Kind of like this. Was it Whirlwind? Am I thinking of Whirlwind? There was another one. There was like maybe Dreamcatcher as well. I don't think it was Whirlwind, but yeah. The layout here is so weird because it's so old school. What am I thinking of? There was a map that like spiraled around. It was kind of like a circular maze. It was in Heart of the Swarm, maybe 2013, 2014, maybe 2014. I'm getting those kind of vibes, except of course that map was larger. This one is far smaller, actually. Far smaller. Jesus. Once again, the rush distance here feels really short. Doesn't feel like that there are that many bases either, especially because like, how do you hold on to these middle bases, right? Like, that's crazy. Oh my god. Meanwhile, it's been a while since we've had things like this as well. The pathways here into the fringe bases. Love to see it. Looks like a brutal map, but those center bases are wild. This is actually, I can't look. I love map makers, but this is there's no way this ever gets through like the veto, like not the veto process. There's no way this gets through the judging process, right? This is crazy. It's actually crazy. I appreciate it though. Those who don't know, for the Team Liquid map contest, I believe they are closing the submission phase in 2 days. I think it's until the 9th of May. Then they close the submissions, and then they're going to be going through a judging process. All right, I need to calm down. The terrain is just so interesting to me. I love how quirky it is. Not gonna lie. Like, in general, I feel like tanks would be so good here. Like, positional play and like catching run-bys or catching the army here, just because of how thin. Just because of how thin, like, these areas are that, like, split off the map. It changes everything, I feel. Whether it's tanks, whether it's Broodlords, whether it's Sky Toss as well. Sky Toss, I feel like, will thrive on this, actually. Blink Stalkers, mate. Jesus. Because I'm pretty sure you can blink back and forth every single one of these. Alright, speaking of, here we go. Blink is on the way. I love it. SewerBadger going for finally a relatively standard opener here. We're going into a gate expand. I think it was still a 2-gate opener, to be fair. So it does slow himself down a little bit, but he is going to be going into Blink. Meanwhile, across the map, we do see Senjiu going into his own setup, looking kind of like a 2-on-1 setup here. Something that you don't see too often. Senjiu is prioritizing combat shields instead of stim, which is crazy. Yeah, combat shields is going to be on the way instead. This is almost looking like the Stargazers build that Dolan did, that Dolan popularized, where you push out across the map with stimless Marines, with tanks, and with combat shields. But I don't think he wants to hit a timing, and yeah, there we go. We do have 2 more axes on the way. He's just, yeah, prioritizing combat shields for some reason. Interesting. There's no shot this map makes it into the ladder, which is such a shame. Yeah, it's just too out of the norm, right? Which is like pros and cons, you know, like, because this game, this is something that map makers have like expressed their disdain about. I don't want to say they've complained as much, but like, you know, they've expressed their concerns that because StarCraft is so, there's been so many iteration phases, and it's so figured out when it comes to acceptable rush distances and acceptable like third bases, and how, like, you know, there should be like maybe one third that's a little bit easier to take and the other third that's like a little more difficult to like kind of have like a linear progression, and like how acceptable it is for a base to be difficult to expand to and how not acceptable and all that stuff. Like, there are a bunch of like, they're not hard rules, but they're like accepted by everyone, you know, like Reaper cliffs, you know, Overlord pillars, stuff like that, right? And it can sometimes be really difficult to like break that, just because like it's so widely regarded to be like standard and what should be a part of a map, right? I feel like this is another part of that, right? Like the two bases right next to each other on opposing sides of the map should not happen. But like this is an extreme example of that. You know, the other one is like it was huge when we started getting rid of Overlord pillars over the natural. You know, that was another big one. For a very long time, Overlord pillars over the natural were a common thing. They were meta, they were a part of every map. And then starting with Death Aura, we got rid of that. We got rid of that for one of the first times. And it was and Zerg players were furious when that happened. They're like, the hell is this nonsense? But like in current meta, you know, it has now become acceptable to have that, at least in some of the maps, right? Or even the majority, you know, like where now it's going to be a little bit more difficult to scout the natural, and the pillar is a little bit further away. So like we have been able to break free from the mold a little bit, but like for every step that you take, you have to fight for every inch, you know, you have to fight for every step whenever it comes to like being a little bit more innovative about like certain breaking certain norms here in the maps. Yeah, I don't know, it's just something interesting to think about, and it is sometimes a little bit restrictive. Oh my god, I just saw this! Look at this! We have like a cliff face over the left-hand base where you can like drop and siege tanks. You made this is crazy. This is like god, the Pro League TY map. I forget what it's called, but I love it. it's like this is where you go to harass and abuse the space. It's beautiful. Am I thinking of Dark Towers? Yaku would know. Yaku loves that map. The TY Pro League map. As Senjiu's pushing on forward, and there are DTs to defend, so as long as you have a scan, Senjiu's about to end the game, which is a little bit sad. I don't want the game to end. I want to keep looking at the map. DTs are going ham, Poppy. Do we have a scan? We have scans! We have scans, Poppy! Where are the scans? We have plenty of energy. No! No! Poppy! Ah! Damn, it's too late. It's too late. We found our scan hotkey, but we lost everything. We killed the base. I think we still win anyway, but... Oh. Alas, only 2 DTs survived. We got a Colossus as well. Despite SewerBadger going for a blink opener, he wasn't really active on the map, so he was just more defensive. He just allowed Senjiu to move out here. The tank spread is insane. And this is another thing about this map where it does feel like tanks would excel heavily. Just because of the terrain, and GG is gonna get called. But hold on. I need to do a quick scan again, okay? Oh my god. Dusk Towers, that's it. I don't know if anyone said it. This reminds me of Dusk Towers, not Dark Towers. Dusk Towers, let's go. GG. GG. There's no Overlord pillars on this map anywhere, true. I think crazy maps should be let through often in an ideal world, but in an ideal world, the maps change more often, so these maps can be taken out faster. True, true. Yeah, I agree. Like, if the map rotations were faster, then I think people would be a little bit more accepting of more quirky maps. But because at the moment we have a map pool for a year, basically, like for like 10 or so months for a season of EPT, we're stuck with a map pool, and because of that, it's yeah, they have to be standardized, right? Because we're going to be stuck with them for a long time. GG. GG, well played. Ugh.